Hello and welcome to another video. So I'm out in the beautiful Highbury orchard right now and thoroughly enjoying the sunshine, and I thought I'd stop in the sunny spot and record a bit of a video on making natural cordage using the 2-ply method. It's a really simple method, really meditative way to make some quality cordage that you can then use for bow drill, for fastenings, for necklaces, bracelets, whatever. It's really interesting to be able to make something out of just the fibers you gather from nature. So if that's something you'd like to hear more about, keep watching and I'll see you in a moment. So there is almost no end to the fibres that you can make cordage out of, but there are only a handful plus, so about 10 to 12 that make really good quality cordage. So they range in variety from, here we've got some willow, got lime bast, got some horseradish fibres, got nettle. You can also make it out of bramble. Rarer one is you can make out of tendons. So typically when you would butcher a deer, you'd keep the tendons and then you pound those and you'd be able to turn it into a really strong fibre. So the key thing is to obtain long strands of the fibres that have dried out. So the problem is if you make cordage with wet or fresh fibres, then as they dry they'll shrink and then the cordage will loosen and lose most of its strength. So what you're looking to do, particularly for things like nettle, they're quite easy to process. Once you've got the fibres, you dry them out, and then when it comes to making cordage, you'd then rehydrate them. So I'm just going to be using the lime bast, which is slightly more involved process, but if you'd like to see a video on that, do let me know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some lime fibres, and just go give them a quick dunk to rehydrate them. So just a little bit of water, you don't need to soak them. And then what I'm going to do to make this cordage is I'm going to be twisting these together. Now the key to making good string, so string is made up of fibres and then rope is made out of cordage. Cordage is made out of fibres and rope is made out of cordage. So what you do is you want to twist each fibre one way and then twist the two strands together the opposite way. So if you're twisting the fibres clockwise, you need to be twisting the two strands together anti-clockwise. As you might have seen earlier, I was splitting the fibres, the lime bast fibres, down the middle. First of all, to make them thinner, and secondly, because for good quality string, I tend to prefer to use at least 2 fibres. The reason you can just use the one, but for more consistent length, for more consistent width along its length, I'd suggest using 2 fibres. The reason why is because this is a natural product. So as trees and branches and plants grow, they tend to be wider at the base and thinner at the top. So the cordage will often follow that. So if you start at one end of the fibres, then your string will naturally either get thinner or thicker as you go down the fibres. So by taking two pieces, taking apart one piece and then overlapping it opposite way, so you have a thin end and a thick end at each side, you then eliminate most of the problems and you get a more consistent length of cord. So once I've got my cord like that, then I'm just going to offset. I'm not going to choose the exact middle of the cord. I want to get it so that one side is slightly longer than the other. This will stagger when we need to add cordage. So I'll pick about there. Now, thing to remember. So there's a couple of ways to do this, but essentially, as I said, you want to get that reverse twist. So one clockwise, one counterclockwise. So just going to start off with rolling the fibres away from you. So you're twisting kind of like, say, a motorbike throttle, just away from you. You keep twisting until you get a kink like that. Now if you're working with groups, it's sometimes helpful to put a carabiner clip or something through there and just attach to a line, just so it gives them something to hold on to. So it'll hold their work for them. I find I can work just fine, just my hands. Then go pinch one cord in each hand, and the right hand is going to roll the fibres away until it twists to a nice thick twist. You see there? Okay, and then we're going to swap over. So the right strand is going to go over the top of the left strand, and we're going to swap hands. See, we've got now what used to be the left strand in our right hand, and again we're going to twist away, and then right over left, twist away, right over left, twist, right over left. As you can see, we're starting to develop a twisted fibre. There we go, continue doing that, just keep going. The acid test when you do this is, if you let the fibres go, they shouldn't come apart. You should, because the forces, so because you're twisting one strand the other way and then twisting the two strands together the opposite way, the forces involved cancel out. Go right over left, so roll, so you get twist, right over left, roll, twist, right over left. The trickiest part, especially if you're doing this with children, is getting the whole switching of the hands, because it does require a little bit of dexterity, and if motor control isn't very well developed, then it can be a little bit difficult. But what you can do is just get the child to twist one strand and then you hold onto the other, and you just basically get them to pass you the strands and switch over. But older children do get this pretty quickly and can get some proper speed going with it. It's really fast. So we're just looking to make sure that we have a consistent thickness all the way along. Because if one strand starts twisting around the other, kind of like ivy twisting around the trunk of a big tree, it means we will need to add in fibres, but we're okay for now. But we are going to start getting to the end of one of our strands there. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. You can see relatively quickly you are getting decent length of cord. So most of the difficulty with with natural cordage is gathering the fibres in the first place. That's onerous side of proposition. But you can imagine this is something that you'd do end of the day when you're sitting around the campfire chatting. You can just get a couple of strands out, begin working away. And when we used to have a more relaxed lifestyle, and as I said, it's almost meditative, and once you have the muscle memory, it's pretty easy. Keep going. Can you see just there? It's just starting to wrap itself around, because this side is getting a bit thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick nice thin fibre, give it a little dunk, and then we're going to add it in. So what we do is we untwist this fibre, and we're going to overlap. So because I've just got a little bit, got a really thin bit there, I'll just leave that overlapping, and then we're just going to hold that as part of our right thread, twist it together in right over left. See, gotta keep going, going, going. So you can see there, it's just, we've joined in a fibre, and then whenever you start running short on one side or out, preferably before you run out completely, you just add in another fibre. And the idea is to stagger them, so you don't introduce fibres to both strands at the same time, because they'll create a weak spot in the string. So right there, there's only one fibre joining in, and then down here somewhere we can add in another fibre for the other side, and we'll have a strong piece of cordage. And you just keep on going right down. As I said, let it go, and it's fine just the way it is. So you have it. So in a relatively short amount of time we got a decent amount of cordage. Like I said, if you wanted something stronger, you might add more fibres. So the more fibres it has, stronger it is. And then if you want to turn that into rope, then you would twist strands of, twist these pieces of cordage, these pieces of string together using a rope twister. And I'll leave a link above and in the description to a really neat video from Wildly Curious, from Mel there, who made a really interesting rope twister and talks at length about how to make rope. So there you have it, a reverse 2-ply cordage. I really encourage you to have a good play with this. It's a really useful skill, and one that does come in handy. Cordage is one of those things that's harder to reproduce from natural materials. Not impossible, as you've seen, but it is hard to beat synthetic cordage for its strength and durability over long term. But I think there's something special about maybe something that's entirely biodegradable and from the area that you are based in. So have a play, let me know how you get on. If you'd like to know more about processing specific types of fibre, I can make a video about that in the future. That I'll say. Thanks for watching, and make the most of every day. Bye now.